Blackstone Audio presents Last Words, a Coleridge Taylor mystery by Rich Zahradnik. This book is read by Donald Corren. With love to my wife Sherry, who's patiently waited the longest for this, and my son Patrick, who's waited forever. Part 1. Tuesday, March 11th, 1975. Chapter 1. The dead sitting on his desk could wait. Instead of going back to the office, Coleridge Taylor stopped at the newsstand on 23rd Street and looked at the front page of the Daily News. Mayhem in Queens, spelled out in 2-inch type. Another story that should have been his. The Times led with a dull speech by President Ford. It made him miss Nixon. Nothing like a crook in the White House to sell papers. He spent a nickel on a pack of tea-berry gum, folded a stick into his mouth, pulled his field jacket tight against the wind, and turned east toward Bellevue. Taylor spent his long lunches making the rounds. Precincts, ERs, firehouses, the same rounds he'd done when he was the paper's top police reporter, before they'd banished him to obits. Unless he caught a break soon, his career would be over. He'd be a has-been at 34. As he walked, Taylor rapped his pen on his notebook, a nervous habit that kicked in when he was looking for a story, and now he was running out of time. In a week, Worth and Marmelli were going to review the work he'd done since his demotion and decide. A permanent job writing obituaries, or back out on the street. He didn't know which was worse, but if he kept dodging obit duty, that meeting wasn't going to go so well. Gusts off the East River buffeted him as his long strides carried him up First Avenue. His arms were long, too, while his high cheekbones and strong jawline added to the impression that Taylor was all angles. He slipped the notebook and pen into his coat and stuffed his big hands into his pockets. Bellevue towered over FDR Drive and the muck-brown East River. He went up the driveway to the ER entrance. The waiting room was empty, unusual for New York's medical center of last resort. The nurse behind the reception desk, Barbara Cortez, was a bit on the chubby side and smiled no matter what she had to deal with. "Anything good?" He leaned in. Cortez was one of those women who looked better the closer you got because of her kind, dark eyes and smooth olive skin. "We're going to be busy in about 10 minutes. 3
Sample complete. Ready to continue?